Welcome, everybody, across the world to a very early morning stream. My name's Liam, and we're coming to you live from across the Briarnet, and it's wonderful for those of you who've been able to join us. Today we are bringing you a Changeling the Lost game set in the heart of the Empire, a personal setting of mine, Victorian England, London, and I will be your storyteller for today. Hope you have fun, and we'll go from my left and down with the magnanimous Clay.
Hello, my name's Clay. I can be found at Clay Pigeon almost anywhere you want to find your clay pigeons. I have been a player and ST for the lovely Liam for quite a long time.
6 years.
6 years, yeah. It feels like much longer.
Arcadia be like that.
You want more from me? Are we going to keep going here?
No, we'll keep going. To Alex.
Hello, I am Alex, otherwise known as Pretty Pastel Please, or Mother of Birds, or recently Tasmanic, whatever you choose to call me. I am a enjoyer of games like Skyrim, and I love Pokemon. And there's not much else to my personality other than eat hot chip and lie.
I want to counter that. And our final and most costumed individual.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Brick. I also go by Jax Romana. I am a freelance tabletop game designer, editor, author. I've worked on every single Changeling the Lost book for 2nd edition except for the fiction collection, and I am also a huge Changeling the Lost fan who has been cursed to never have a good Changeling the Lost game, so hopefully this will break that curse. So no pressure.
Love it. No pressure. Fantastic.
So I am actually really looking forward to playing this game, and side note, I got to fangirl over Alex a little bit earlier because I love her bird and her fashion sense. So that was really cool finding out that she was joining us on stream, and I'm very excited about that.
And I already had my fanboy moment over your good self. Onyx Path is doing a heap of stuff. If you want to check out their stuff, I recommend going to the Onyx Path website. They will have all Kickstarters, all information there that you can go and say hello to them and pay attention to what's going on in their lives. But it's presently 4 a.m, so I'm not going to pay attention. These lovely people have my attention. And with that, my dear friends, let's start telling a fairy tale. Once upon a time, there were 3 changelings. They'd come out of their pain and escaped into their new home in London in 1857. These 3 lost had gotten to know each other, and each had felt something missing. The memory of a family member, the memory of home, the memory that burnt itself into their minds, mostly with its absence. So they gather, opening a door in the near hedge, an open place that they feel to drive towards their icons, pieces of their lost soul snagged on the thorns, and maybe regained by stranger creatures. But for now, the hedge gate to the freehold common snaps closed, as you all stand in an area not too dissimilar to the real world. But the walls here have glassy thorns that protrude gently, and brick vines that reach up and network around the tops of our 3 antagonists. We'll see if they're professionals or not later. Let's get a quick description of each of your characters as we kick off. Jax, would you mind going first?
I suppose I can. I am playing Pia Mort, the Sexton's daughter. She is a Ferrist ghost heart. In her former life, she was in fact the daughter of a sexton and undertaker for St. Nicholas Church in London, and she's very familiar with graveyards, and so that carried over into her durance, where she vaguely remembers tending to the last moments of changelings who died in Arcadia, but not much else.
Alex.
Hello, my name is Smidge. I don't remember much about my last life, but I do remember this beautiful place I used to call home. It was a beautiful mountain. I remember the trees and the ponds and the people. I don't remember their faces, but I remember the feeling that I had when I looked at them. And I was in this place, the hedge. Don't really remember much about it. I try not to think about it really. If I think too hard about these things, it tends to. In the hedge. Sorry, I don't really like to think about these things. I tend to my days in the court of spring. And if I use the wrong terminology, it's because I've never done this before, and I have no idea what I'm talking about.
This as well. What does Smidge look like?
Smidge is a slight waif of a woman. She's very slim. She's got a rather big nose, and she's got white hair, which is unusual because she's quite young. You wouldn't think that she'd have white hair at this age, but it's possibly the stresses that she's been through in her life. She's a little bit of an airhead, some may say, but for some reason, some people, they really tend to like her. They like her a lot. They think she's a bit important for some reason, but she's really not.
And Clay, what does your character look like? What is their name?
I am playing Tom Millen. Tom is very happy to meet you. He said, if there's anything you need at all, I'm here to help. Whatever it might be, if you perhaps need some information, or maybe you need someone to walk you home and have a chat and make sure you're okay, or did I hear you were perhaps having some trouble with the gang down the street? Well, I know some people who might be able to help you out with that as well. Let's not worry too much about it. Tom is all of 5'10". In his human guise, he's nothing much to really look at, but has a very friendly face. The kind of open face that really just wants to listen, you know? But in terms of what he would look like to other Fae, looks like someone's stuffed teddy bear has run into a porcelain doll.
Majestic.
That gives me a better idea of how I can describe myself. As a waif of a woman, I have very tall, long, slim, very, very slim legs. And I have quite narrow hips as well, but then you get to my buxom bosom, and I have quite a large bosom, a large chest. It's about double G. I'm not really sure what we'd call that in London in Victorian times. I'm not really sure if it's a double G or a golly gosh, look at that woman, I'd do anything for her. But yes, to other Fae, they look at me and they see a very, very long, scrungly, large, scraggly-looking nose. It's almost beak-like in a way. And my hair, like in my human form, is white, but it's not quite hair. It's actually what some may think of as pin feathers. I'm a rather pigeon-like looking person, and I believe in my time in the hedge, I was in fact a pigeon coo.
Coo. Stretching out before you all is the path that you guys have chosen to start investigating for your icons. It stretches out through the thorn and through the briars. So, in that case, what do you guys do?
I will be using Straight On Till Morning as my first contract. It does not require a dice pool. It costs 1 glamour, and it causes me to be able to become tireless, able to push on without having to rest or eat until I reach my destination. I suffer no ill effects from environmental tilts along the way. This doesn't prevent other encounters from getting in my way, of course. If I travel the wishing rolls, my navigation rolls gain the aid again quality, and I can extend the contract to a number of fellow travelers up to my weird rating because I am a fairist. So I will do so for Smee, was it? Smidge, yes. So I will extend the benefits of that contract to Smidge because I think Tom is quite capable of taking care of himself.
Whilst you're doing that, Tom pulls out a little leather pouch that he has and has a little munch on something that looks like cat fur and bone. And nothing seems to really change as I activate Talon and Wing and using the loophole. And I think I'll be able to keep up just fine.
And because I have no idea what I'm doing, I am going to activate pigeon mode. I am simply going to become a very small, white, racing pigeon bird. And I'm going to just sit upon the shoulder of one of my companions here and hope for the best.
So that would be a contract. I'm just getting your character sheet. Smidge the Pidge. That would be Chrysalis. So on your character sheet, you have a glamour total, which should be 10 for weird one. Just mark off 2 of those in whatever way you like. The smell around you guys suddenly becomes heavy with burning glamour, this scent of almost ozone quality that wafts through the hedge, and the thorns seem to... They don't so much turn into you guys, eager for a little bit of blood, maybe something else. But these thorns kind of ease. They soften. The glass tips of them bend in slightly as if it's under the summer sun.
So I actually do have 3 dots in my autumn mantle. Can I have them sort of wilt slightly instead?
Absolutely. You've got autumn mantle at 3. Do they take on a slightly more leaf-like quality in this moment?
They absolutely do.
Beautiful. skeletal and almost as if they're halfway through decomposing. The thorns shift and flop. Yeah, this is more welcoming than what you would have expected for such a... honestly, it's a nasty place, the hedge.
Not always.
Not always. Sometimes it's nice. And you guys move on forward, following the path?
Absolutely.
So I have the merit hedge sense, which gives me a 2 dice bonus on all rolls to navigate the hedge and to find icons, food, shelter, or goblin fruit.
Ooh, lovely. Can you give me a finding your way in the hedge roll, as Piamorte kind of takes the lead for you guys? Tom, I imagine, is following along.
Tom is following along and is very grateful, but keeping that firmly to himself.
Would you like survival manipulation, survival
I
composure,
don't
survival
mind.
wit?
How does Piamorte do this? How does she communicate with the hedge and find a way?
I think it's very much a sort of intuition. Like, she's used to being around things that are dead and dying, and she's used to sort of finding her way by how that happens, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
She's used to being very responsive to other people's breath, more or less. So I think what we're actually going to do is do wit survival.
Yep, love it.
With
Let's
the
go.
yeah. 3 successes.
3 successes? Marvellous. As you guys are walking through, Pia picks... actually, I should ask this. Do you have anything that would mean that those 3 successes would be an exceptional in any way?
I wrote that rule. Let me check.
As Pia is leading you guys through the thorns and brambles of this place, it looks like one of the streets or one of the naves and rookeries of London. The brambles and thorns are less woody or anything like that. Sometimes they're bone, sometimes they're bricks, sometimes they're wrought bronze that's been curved and twisted to look like a gate. Something very similar to a gate, to be sure, but doesn't open, doesn't swing, just sits there. Around you can hear the sound of buzzing insects, and every so often the caw of a bird far away.
So I do not have anything that causes me to gain an exceptional success on this. My exceptional success is if I succeeded a wits composure roll to see manifest ghosts or other twilight entities, including helldivers. Also, I have 3 dots of ghost allies, which I haven't actually statted out, so please feel free to go nuts with them.
Yes,
Whilst you're leading, I'm going to be keeping a very good eye out for anything that might be paying attention to us.
Oh, absolutely. Can I get a perception roll from you, please?
Absolutely. I will take the dramatic fail, please, ST.
Cool.
I'd
I want
also
you
like
to
to be doing the same.
Cool. Can I get you to roll your dots in wits plus your dots in composure? Okay, Clay, I want you to take the blinded tilt for this scene, just in one of your eyes, as Tom is looking about the place. He's just kind of looking up at one point. He trips, and the side of your head runs into brick. Just into a brick. Blood starts trickling down. You're not going to take any damage, but for this scene, you are blinded.
Yeah, that trained observer merit doesn't help when you roll below an 8. I'll just...
Blinded by the brick.
I have two 8s and a 9.
2 8s and a 9, so that's 3 successes. Smidge is looking around. You notice Tom... I'm just going to say you're on Pia Morte's shoulder at this point. You notice Tom eat the dirt. Just smack his head. He gets up, blood's pouring down. It doesn't look bad, but he's just kind of covering an eye. But what you hear a little bit further up is... yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Oh, Dan. Come on, look at these fuckers. Come on. As
Hey, I have a power called Discreet Summons that summons a goblin in my area to present itself before me. I would like to use that now.
Fine, hot goblins in your area.
yes, roll that.
Alright, so I'm spending 2 glamour. Let me check the contested roll.
It's that type of game.
It's just going to be me spamming contracts until we get somewhere.
This is the autumn way. Sorry, Alex. What were you saying?
I'm asking my friends here. Did you hear that? Did you hear that noise down there?
I turn around with blood streaming from my face a little bit. And I'm like, no. Just the cold winter
A little bit.
wind from my mantle just washes past. No.
You're alone here? Someone's laughing at you?
Can't imagine why.
Maybe because you just ate shit, my friend.
Ah!
I'm a wee bit nervous about this. The noise is coming from the bushes. Someone's laughing at us, and I don't really like being laughed at.
5 successes on my end.
Damn.
Sorry. But, nonetheless, you hear, Oi! Oi! And stepping out of what seems to just be this little alcove. If you've ever seen Labyrinth, which I'm just assuming everybody who's watching this has, because it's safe to assume that. It's like that little gap in the wall that Sarah steps through right at the start. There's not supposed to be a entrance there, but as soon as there's always been an entrance there. You just maybe never saw it. And stepping out is a tall, gangly Quaker dressed hob. Just a hat across. He could almost be human. Like, he's got the right height, he's got the right just about everything, except the skin is bright purple. And the hands are yellow, holding a fiddle in one hand with its bow pressed to it. Damn.
Can I help you, universal friend?
Maybe I can help you. Yeah.
Well, if you stop sticking bricks in my friend's eyes, perhaps you can.
I didn't do that. His feet did that. I don't do such things. However, if you wouldn't mind joining us for a little bit of food, a little bit of hospitality, I'm more than happy to look after yous. Me and Dan Quicksoat, we're happy to have guests.
Tom slides in slowly from left of frame.
Yep.
And still kind of holding his eye a little bit. He's like, I'm so sorry. And my name's Tom. I didn't quite catch yours there. It was...
I'm Uncle Toby.
Uncle Toby. A pleasure, truly.
Oh, I certainly hope so.
That's not strange at all. And in any case, you have just been watching this path in hopes of hospitality?
In the hopes of offering hospitality. I'm not one of them raiders. I promise. I can't even lie, me. I thought that some lonely young travellers might enjoy a little cup of tea. Maybe a slice of cake.
We find ourselves quite refreshed as of the moment. But perhaps you could tell us what lies a bit further down this path. And I will roll persuasion on this guy. Yeah, I have some things for this.
Très bon. What is Smidge doing this moment?
Looking at this hob and thinking, do I know you from somewhere? Do I recognize this face?
Yeah, actually. Let's play into that. Let's do an intelligence plus composure -2.
So unfortunately, I'm only left with 1.
That's right. Roll that single dice.
It's a 7. 17.
A 7. You don't get any successes. This individual is unknown to you, but the person sitting behind there is a puddle with a face on, puddle of questionable hands, and it's kind of like sentient porridge, sitting in this little alcove around a fire, shuffling a deck of cards, beautiful flares, like the king of any casino. And it meets your gaze and goes, "Okay, for the game of cards."
Whose gaze? Mine?
Yeah, you're the one looking.
And 5 successes on my persuasion there. So, in traditional Clay fashion, I always terrible luck, very good luck. So the curse continues.
The curse continues. He's going to take the leverage condition against you.
Nice.
I'm sorry, my friend. I don't have any hands. So may I ask, if you want to play a wee game of cards, perhaps you ask one of my friends here.
Oh,
Literally nothing would please me less.
Is very grateful in this moment he has Rigid Mask.
Oh, I wish I had that merit.
I'm sorry, do I know you? Why are you asking me to play cards? Do I know you?
Oh, you always gotta invite people in to play a little bit of cards, love. That's how we get to know one another. And maybe if you're even good enough, you'll get to keep a card. Or all of them. Clay, what did you ask the gentleman again?
If he could just tell us what's further down this path.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're a charmer. Oh, I know a charmer when I see one. Listen to Uncle Toby. Down this path is story unfurled. You got to be careful of the river. The river will take a bit to cross, but it's open to you. It's the windmills you really, really have to watch out for, and the knight of the windmills who sits on his high horse overlooking them. If you're after them, well, I can give you a bit more information, of course. But I reckon, why don't you give us a game of cards? Play a hand, maybe two, and we'll see if we can't help you guys all the more. Pia,
I look over at Pia.
I would like to roll my survival wits again with my hedge merit 2. Part of me is very suspicious that one of those cards is an icon.
Can I change your dice pool, please? I'd like you to roll Wits Empathy instead. If
All
you
right.
have it. If you don't have Empathy, Survival will do.
No, I have it. It doesn't change particularly because I have empathy hedge shaping, which gives me the same number.
Yeah, give me that roll.
4 successes.
4 successes. You're looking at those cards being shuffled between thankfully unstaining porridgey hands. And you're hoping for the glint, the shimmer of a memory or a lost cause, something like that. However, instead, you don't see it. They are certainly a token, however, being flared between the fingers of this hob. And for all of their disgusting shape, the empathy roll does reveal that they are not hostile. And they do just genuinely want to offer you guys a cup of tea, if that changes anything for you.
Pia's Autumn Court, so that changes basically nothing. But she looks at it and she says, "Oh, you want to give us a piece of your trinket? How kind of you."
No need to be harsh, love. A little
Mrs. Fine.
Mrs. Love? That's an interesting name. Now, game is one thing, information's another, food's another, but we're more than happy to provide. Ain't that right, Toby? Oh yeah, that's right.
As Sedge is sitting here watching all of this, she's thinking really, really hard, trying to remember if she's seen these two before. She's looking at the scene unfolding, and even though her memory is not fantastic up front, she's thinking really hard. Can she roll again?
Absolutely.
To see if she... Okay.
Roll that single dice again.
She's thinking real hard. And she's coming up with blanks. Never mind. Can I fly over toward one of the two of them? Maybe the porridge. I'd like to land on the head of the porridge if I'm not going to actually just sink through.
No, you flap over the of pigeon wings as you land on a part of... It's hard to say if anything's a head or a hand with this mass.
Is he like Pizza the Hut?
Not intentionally, but absolutely.
Okay.
Orange the Heart.
Whilst I'm emotionally coping with that revelation, sorry, Jackson Clay, you guys were going to do something?
Yeah, I just asked what type of game they're playing.
Oh, we'll play euchre, poker, 500. Although that may be a bit too much time for such as you, but we're more than happy to adjust. We don't do
quite
52
like
pickup.
500. 500 sounds quite enjoyable.
I'm a dab hand at poker, but I feel like we have more pressing matters.
As you wish.
Wait, may I ask something? Should we play you now? If, say, not that I can play myself because, no hands at all, but if one of my companions here were to play a game with you and win, perhaps, what may we get out of such a scenario?
Oh, we've got lots of gifts. Lots of gifts. We've got the cards here, the cards of truth and loss. Marvellous little things. If you're a cheater, they'll never work for you. But if you're good, if you're honest, they'll look after you.
Good and honest. We're good and honest folk in these parts.
We've got the Fiddler's Green that my old friend Toby has. Beautiful little piece right there. And, of course, our pudding bowl. Would you like a slice?
Is that part of you, the pudding bowl? Is the thing in the pudding bowl part of your body?
Not this time.
Not this. No, I don't. I think that we'd probably go for the fiddle in that case. But may I suggest this game of 500? I know you say that it's a long game, but I know my friend Tom here is particularly good at 500. Especially if, you were to declare open misere. I think we should perhaps... If we play 500, I'll... How about this? You deal a hand, my friend here, Tom. We won't even look at it. We'll declare open misere. If we win, you give us that there fiddle. If we lose, you let us on our way and you tell us where we might go and what we might say to the man on the horse.
Roll manipulation persuasion, and this is going to be contested because that's beautiful, but...
That's some great fast talking right there.
It is. And sorry, what is Pia Morte doing?
Watching.
Watching.
Waiting, commiserating. I get a 10. Only passed once. Only succeeded once.
The porridge looks at you.
Can you not look at me like that, please? I'm very close to...
We'll play a hand of 500, that's for sure. But if you
I'm on
lose,
his head.
an eye swivels up to look at you, kind of migrating through the mass. We'll play, that's for sure. But if you lose, we get to call in a favour. You guys owe us.
And Pia.
Yes.
It's on you because I can't actually play.
Oh, I thought you... It'll have to be Tom. I'm no good at cards.
See, the thing about open misere is you don't actually have to be good. You actually have to be as bad as you possibly can. See, open misere in 500 is you want to lose. So perhaps you may be the right candidate for such a job. No, actually no. Open misere requires a bit more skill than that. No, Tom.
Tom has gone from very happy he has rigid mask to very unhappy he has a rigid mask to again very happy that his emotions cannot realistically be shown on his face. Tell you what, I'll play a hand with you.
Excellent. The cards are shuffled and dealt, and you get your hand. And I would like the person who got you into this mess, Alex. I would like you to roll your weird rating, please.
Stay with it. And I resent the insinuation. I've not succeeded.
The weird is not with you in this. It's down to your skill. Could I get you, please, to roll a playing cards roll? This could be sleight of hand, larceny. Sorry, D&D on the brain. This could be larceny. This could be academics. This could be subterfuge.
Socialize.
Beautiful.
Yes, please. I will go with manipulation socialize. I want to play in a way that obscures what my true intentions are.
As I'm sitting on the head of the porridge, can I see his hand?
You need to make a wits plus composure roll.
Composure. Wits. Oh! Hey, well, finally something going in my favor this time.
Alrighty.
So, I'm rolling 5 dice here. 2
Alrighty.
successes.
With 2 successes, you look down and you're able to get a good idea of what's in his hand. It's not a great hand. The weird is against everyone in this moment, apparently. This is now not a game of luck, but a game of pure, unmitigated skill. So I will get...
Yeah, except I'm kind of cheating because I'm going to really lean on my winter mantle and
Yep.
throw that into the mix while I'm at this. So, in particular, I'm going to attempt to obscure the truth in terms of how good my hand actually is. Maybe in the very first round of 500, lose, in order to claw it back later, and play that sort of game. If that is all right with you, ST.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you take a +2 for this, as you've got a pigeon on his head helping him out?
Oh, fantastic. That's just a dice ball and a half. Holy moly. That's a roll and a half. 7 successes.
It's been a while since I've had to crack my Changeling condition cards, now available at Drive-Thru RPG. I didn't even try to resist. You're going to get a condition for this. I'll give you an informed condition because you succeed handedly in your attempt here. You play a hand and you play the round that you are given and you lose, as you wished. But what this informed does is it shows you how Dan Quickoat likes to play, and that is recklessly. He's
And quick oat. I finally got it. Oh my god, my brain. Thank you, Liam.
Yeah, he doesn't think maybe more than 2 cards ahead. He's certainly not trying to think, oh, what's in your hand. He is just going, oh yeah, this will do, and this will do. Mia porte, pia morte. Blech. You feel a cold hand rest upon your shoulder, and a head pull itself around. What's happening?
Oh, hello?
Is your ghost ally. It leans over and... Hello? Why? Can I help you?
Tom and Smidge got distracted and we're playing cards now.
You don't want
He
to
said
play?
it's a favor.
Why don't you want to play, Pia?
Because we came into the hedge to do something very specific. This is a distraction.
Can we hear the ghost talking?
It's very soft, and you guys are about 10 meters away, next to a burbling pile of porridge. And
But we can hear Pia,
you can just hear Pia, but they're talking very gently. Like,
and we can't see the ghost.
You would be able to see the ghost because they're not innately invisible.
Yeah, they're manifested right now.
Yeah. But the ghost is this shambling sort of creature. It looks like it was a changeling that fell ill of maybe briar wolves. This big, tall, long, stretched out, wizened looking thing with long fingers that end not in pads but in different sockets and screw bits and drills as it kind of...
He's my boyfriend!
Help them win and we'll be off. Maybe. Or travel alone. You're never alone when I'm near.
I can't hear you. You've dropped off the
Sorry.
mic.
Sorry. He says, help them to win or travel alone. Either way, he's with you.
Why don't you go help them win? I would hate to lose to these two
Be owing him a
men.
favor.
His name is Screwhead Jack.
Can I point something out? Not to be, obsessed with rules of card games or anything, but in the bargain, in the bargain that we made, we said that if he won, we would owe him a favor. The nature of open misère being that you want to lose.
Mm-hmm.
You said we lost.
Yes.
So we won. So we actually don't need any help from your boyfriend. I'm terribly sorry. Not that we don't like him, we do like him, but he's just not needed.
You achieved the outcome that yeah, fuck.
You got changelinged!
Hey!
As is tradition, I am foiled by my players.
I mean, this game of Changeling has been far less exploitative and far closer to the actual spirit of the game than literally any other Changeling game I have played in, so I appreciate it.
And that is all I need to know I have succeeded tonight. This morning. Wherever time is actually real, but time is a lie created by the antediluvians.
Hang on.
Sorry,
We're crossing the streams here a little bit.
It's fine. In losing, you win.
The nature of open misère, my friend.
Damn. Okay.
I'm sorry to the pile of porridge.
No, that's fine, that's fine. Thank you for catching me. I appreciate it. And
I'd like to peck at the porridge a wee bit. See what it tastes like. Oat-based porridge?
This is porridge. No. This is the memory of every child's worst porridge. This is something that has sat there in the pot for 2 hours over any liquid was actually a part of it. It is so close to being oobleck that when you peck it, you do actually dislodge a tiny, tiny grain. Tiny grain of oat. And it's about this big, rock hard. This is the worst of Nana's rock cakes, sort of hard. And a hand goes up. Oh, stop that! That's part of me, that is.
I believe because we won, you owe us that wee little fiddle that your friend is holding over there.
Of course. More than happy to oblige. And with that, a hand goes out and shakes one of your little feet. And with a smile, the goblins sort of start to fade away, drifting off and leaving the set of cards, the fiddle, and the pudding bowl. Which, yes, Jax.
I have market sense, which allows me to determine the value of a particular token or trinket. And I would like to look these over, please.
Absolutely. So there are 3 items. They are all valued at 2-dot tokens. You have the pudding bowl, which for Australians in the chat, if you've seen the magic pudding, it's the magic pudding bowl. You have Fiddler's Green, which is a beautiful, beautiful looking token that if someone hears it played, they must dance a jig until they can dance no more. The cards of Truth and Loss are very simple. Very, very simple. If you're cheating, you'll never win. But if you're playing true, only skill can beat you.
I will be taking that fiddle, thank you.
Fiddle has it. I assume we only... Are all 3 just sitting there still, or...?
Yeah.
Could someone pick up that pudding bowl? It didn't taste the best, but if you're in a sticky situation, you may be a wee bit hungry. Is it just a bowl of pudding? Does anyone know?
It's a bowl of magical pudding that makes pudding appear when you need it, but the pudding itself is made out of bad memories, so it will always taste bland no matter how filling it is.
Fine. Doesn't have to taste great. I mean, seed doesn't taste particularly great either.
Okay, well, you don't exactly have opposable thumbs right now.
No,
So
could someone please take the bowl of pudding?
You guys collect the tokens. You put them. Pia Morte takes the fiddle, and the hands of your ghost retainer plucks a couple of bad notes out.
My boyfriend.
Your boyfriend, mea culpa, plucks a couple of notes out with a smile. Ah, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Not now, dear.
Ah. And he
Also, I find it very fitting that the weird ghost-obsessed Ferrist has a wizened boyfriend.
Of course.
I think it's a lovely bookend.
really, a tale as old as time.
So now these things, now that we've seen these strangers, I may have a wee little bit of a race down ahead of us. I'm rather fast, you see, a bit of a speedy old racing pigeon as it may be. So I'd like to just quickly tear on ahead and see if there's anything.
Absolutely. For this scene, we are entering a chase. The nature of travelling through the hedge is alive. Well, broadly. It's certainly sentient of you, and it certainly cares about where you're trying to get to. However, it doesn't want you getting there. So, we are entering a chase.
I
Yes.
have hedge sense, and I get bonuses. Just as a
Absolutely.
note.
As we're entering this chase, Jax, how is Pia Morte playing her part?
I'm so glad you asked, because the hedge is now actively trying to fuck with us. She's going to roll Composure Survival in order to not be distracted. And she's going to add her lovely little hedge sense merit to that. So I am now rolling 9 dice.
Oh, yes, that's a changeling pool. Alex, in your case, I'm just going to tell you what I want you to roll, and that will be your stamina plus athletics, as you flap on and tear off.
That would be the stamina and athletics of a pigeon, though. So you might want to tell us what the stamina and athletics of a pigeon is.
I don't know.
Stamina and athletics of an Arcadian pigeon, though. And she
Ooh.
was constructed to be a pigeon
Good point.
by Arcadia.
Because I don't have any more brain power to try to compute how pigeon be pigeon. Just roll.
Fast.
just roll your
I've got
character's present
5 for stamina.
plus athletics, please.
Got 3. I've got 1's a 10, so I roll that again. That's another 10. I roll it again. And then I get another 10 and a 9. And so I roll my 10 again.
Go off.
That's it.
But also, because of Alex, because I helped out with your sheet, you achieve an exceptional on 3.
Far out.
I get to do what with an exceptional?
That means I give you a beneficial condition.
You do, yes.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about it. Clay, you go. You do your thing.
Yes, I am. Tom is going to try and keep pace as best he can, but he's really seems in this moment out of his element. Given that the pair of you have hedge sense, it's pretty obvious that he isn't used to this kind of thing, and he's really just leaning on the fact that he doesn't seem to be tiring at all to try and keep pace. So that'll be an athletics from me to try and
Beautiful.
keep up.
So, Alex, how many successes did you get in total, please?
Boy, I should probably count it. It was at least.
It
was at least 5.
It was at least
At
5.
least.
That's enough for me to care about. 3 successes, excellent. Alex, you're going to get the steadfast condition if the roll.
If I fail, I succeed.
Yes, you play open
Nice.
there.
Nice.
That's yeah. Steadfast is misere. You tear off. You flit across this small creek with stepping stones over the babbling brook. Your other 2 compatriots, however, you don't really notice as the thorns start to close in as you guys surge forward, pushing towards your outcome. The hedge doesn't like visitors. The hedge wants to keep those who enter it and wrap them up in thorn and bramble and story and fate and weave them into itself. And you guys could have been its next prey. You guys could have become a part of the thorns that stretch all the way to your former homes in Arcadia. And instead, as they kind of press around you, getting closer and closer, these rose-like canes reaching out, you all squeeze through. You're out. You're in this shallow sunlight, wintry sunlight of a clearing.
So we're not in the hedge anymore.
You are still in the
You are
hedge.
still in the
We're still in the hedge. We're just in a clearing.
Clearing in the hedge, right?
We're in a different scene.
Do I see anything with my
Yes.
bird eyes?
Smidge, what do thy bird eyes see?
Tell me, storyteller.
In front of you, sitting on a weathered and weary-looking horse, wearing what looks like archaic Spaniard armour, is a man. Plumed helmet and long lance. He sits upon the horse looking down into a small valley, where 3 windmills spin lazily. He turns to you. Hello. I did not expect such squires in quick arrival. Marvellous, marvellous. Now, what can I do for you, dear squires? What are you here for?
I'm not a squire.
You are when you're with me? Don't be silly. You have come to me. You have travelled far across. Clearly I am the object of your meanderings through the thorns. You are now my squires. It has been
Am I
and
looking
shall
at Don
always
Quixote?
be.
I have 5 dots in animal ken.
Animal Ken. Yep.
And I'd like to, I don't know if this is within the scope of this, but I'd like to try to interact or communicate with the horse.
Absolutely. I'll get you to roll Presence Animal Ken. Clay.
And I have a different tact.
Mhm.
Of course, the Changeling... The Motley is working together as a well-oiled machine here.
As intended.
As intended. So, instead, I would like to, having heard this, and I think even with 1 dot of academics, that's enough to know this story that I'm looking at, right?
Yes.
Don Quixote. Great. And because the second time it's sort of come up.
Great.
Instead,
I
I'm
had
going
2
to...
dots of academics, so I was going to ask the same thing.
Yep.
So instead, I want to say, a squire, what do you take me for? I am the lord of these lands, and as such, you will treat me with the respect of a knight on my lands.
Roll Presence plus Weird to take over the story. And Jax, sorry, you pick this out as it's kind of like a tableau, a dream of the knight errant. You're looking at Don Quixote. Is there anything that you would like to do at all?
I would like to take on the role of Dulcinea.
Could you refresh me on that role, please?
Oh, it's the woman he's pursuing the entire time.
Yeah, roll Presence Weird. And Alex.
Well, I rolled, I've got 2 10s.
Yep.
And an 8. So I'm guessing I'm going to re-roll my 2 10s.
Yep.
So I'm getting nothing there. But what was that thing about if I roll?
If you fail the roll, Stoic will trigger. Steadfast will trigger.
So if it's just like if I can flat out fail across. Okay, so because
In this case, you've succeeded with 3 successes. Yep.
Okay.
3s all around. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Story time.
The weird bends in this moment. You are concentrating the story into becoming the elements. The windmills no longer stand as windmills, but slowly conglomerate into a lord's manor. The bricks shifting, and I'll get all of you to make perception rolls for me. That is wits plus composure. As the Lord of the Manor is here, even your clothes shimmer with glamour as you take this on board. Jax, your character takes on the name of Dulcinea. You are, whilst your character does have the air of death and autumn about them, this becomes much more that gothic beauty. Morticia Adams.
Oh, fuck yes.
She grows.
Rebecca from Du Maurier, hell yes.
You take that place, you take your role in the story, and Alex, with your 3 successes, as your friends are changing the landscape around you and shifting the story to become a part of it, to enter into this tableau, you land on the horse's head. The horse is not just a horse. It is the steed of Don Quixote. It is weathered and beaten, but ongoing, unrelenting. And it looks up at you, flicks an ear. Hello?
How are you now?
I've been.
You've been?
Yes, I've
Be-
been.
Been better?
At one point. Been worse too.
Feel you there.
4 successes on perception from Clay, 2 from you, Jax. And did you roll perception, Alex?
I got a fail, which means I got a success.
You resolve the steadfast and you get a success. All of you can see through the twisting and cracking bricks and mortar as these windmills slowly conglomerate into a house, a small manor. Something calling out to you. The image of your icon. Clay, in your case, it manifests as a teddy bear. A bit like yourself. Much more ragged. But it just... you see it. And then it shifts back into the building. Jax, sitting there is an old... slowly being pulled back in is an old timepiece. Beaten, almost silvered. That just... something nestled in your mind makes that feel like it's yours. And Alex, you see something that catches your eye, passing once again back and through the brick and the mortar. You see what looks like a snow globe, or that sort of decorative item with a tall pinnacle that just calls to your name as it flows back in. And if snow globes didn't exist in this time period, they do now. And
It do be like that in the hedge sometimes.
yeah. Quixote looks to your character, Jax. Ah, my love, you have come to me at last. Why? Please, let us... My lord, I am so sorry I did not notice you. I did not see you for my own blindness. Please, may we take dinner? May we take food and water in your home?
Of course, the laws of hospitality mean that I must provide to a knight in my lands.
And he gets down off his horse and bows to you graciously. Of course, please, I apologize for my rudeness and insolence. I will... A debt of honor passes from me to you, which you may seal if you wish.
I abso-fucking-lutely seal that man.
Beautiful.
I double dog seal him.
You double dog seal him.
Absolutely.
And now I get to roll to see how jealous your hedge ghost is. The gripping of the hands as they kind of slide along your back. You'd say almost... it's close to possessive in a way. And there is a slight push from your hedge ghost. as it manifests and starts shifting itself to look like your lady-in-waiting. They put their hands
I
together.
love my beautiful trans mask hedge ghost boyfriend.
That is a sentence. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you from one of the writers of Changeling. Canon.
And the hand of Don Quixote takes yours, and please let my love and I, my darling, mi amor, let us go. And the horse.
I see you've brought me a beautiful gift, and I point to the timepiece.
Yes, of course. His lordship was holding it for me. And you get the look of a man who is desperately trying to cover over something that is definitely not his responsibility.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship, Thomas.
Of course, it is a pleasure to assist.
Alex, sitting on the horse. You guys travel on in as a group. Do you want to be doing anything at this moment, or are you just happy?
I'd like to talk to the horse.
Absolutely. What would you like to say to the horse?
Are you falling for any of this?
Look, this man, my owner, is a fucking moron.
Yeah,
God bless him and keep
thought
him,
as much.
but he is an idiot. He attacks windmills as a hobby.
He attacks them. He attacks the windmills.
He attacks them.
Is he about to attack these ones?
Given they are now a house, and he has apparently forgotten that fact, no.
Are
He's
we,
not
are we
going
in
to attack.
any trouble with this man or any danger if we're around him?
I don't think he has the brain cells to comprehend that you may be a threat.
It's wonderful. Do you know anything about that there castle?
It was as it had to be.
Right. Would you say we go inside it?
Oh, I can't.
But
Horses
would
aren't
you say
allowed
we
inside.
should?
No matter how often I scrape my hooves on the welcome mat, I'm never actually welcome. Apparently, you drop a load one time, and that's uncivilized.
Would you like to get inside?
Could you do that? Could you?
I think some of my friends here, between the three of us, we might be persuasive enough to get you in there. Get you an invite.
Yes, please. I would
Leave it with me,
desperately
I'll see
like
what
to
I
see
can
the
do.
grass that's inside.
There's grass inside the building.
Of course.
Of horse. Right. I'd like to fly on ahead with my exceptional speed, which no one can argue with. I'd like to dash on down there, say to my horse friend, I'll be back in just a moment. Go racing on down to this castle and see, is there any guards or anyone?
No. It is less of a castle, more of a manor house.
It's a manor house.
Yeah.
And is there a courtyard in the centre of it?
Yep.
I'd like to land on the roof, on the terracotta tiles, and look down into the centre courtyard and see what I can see.
Yeah, you look down and you can see the small fountain watering herbs in beds around it, and that the fountain seems to be supplying. There does seem to be a little bit of grass here and there, and your friends all reach the door at this point.
I'd like to fly on back down.
Okay.
No, you go, Jax.
I would like to have been chatting with our Don Quixote and like a very feminine manner, like a very feminine, flirtatious manner the whole time. And I would like to roll my presence socialize.
Absolutely.
To basically get him wrapped around my little finger.
I'm going to be assisting, if I can.
Yes, absolutely. We'll treat this as a teamwork.
Because convincing someone to like me or my friends, 3 successes is an exceptional for me.
Beautiful. Given this is teamwork in 2E, you guys do not have to use the same dice pool. If that isn't a
Incredible.
rule, it is now. So, yeah, wrap this man around your little finger. And Clay, what is your supporting dice pool for this?
I will be using presence, persuasion,
Lovely.
and I will be like, it seems like you two have been so in love. How could I deny two people who have been clearly apart for so long the sanctuary of my home? You said your name was Dulcinea. How long have you known this fine knight? And I'm just really leaning into it and tagging on to everything you say.
Yeah,
Well,
roll that
as your
dice pool.
long-lost daughter, father, I have known this knight for quite some time, and he's gotten me out of many a scrap.
Yep, roll
But
that
we
dice
always
pool.
seem to get separated somehow.
Well, I got an exceptional on 4, but
Yep. So, and
I got 5 successes, so I also got an exceptional.
I'm just.
nice.
Okay. This man is taking the swoon condition. 100%. He's not wrapped around your little finger. He's hook, line, and sinker around your wrist.
Got my fist all up in him. No, wait.
Thank you so much for following up with that. Yeah, and I'm going to give him wanton as well. He wants, for the sake of wanting you. His heart, his soul is breaking as he tells stories of how each time he's gotten closer to you, each time you've nearly been together, he's been swept away by a call to adventure, or swept away by brigands, or swept away one time by a very aggressive chicken.
Friend of mine.
Yes.
If we're at the door here, the door is locked, open.
Oh
We're
no,
going.
the Lord of the Manor is outside, Alex. The door swings open to greet him.
Welcome to my home.
Now, Alex, you want to get your little horse friend in. Let me just look at your contracts to see if there's anything, because I have an idea. So, I'm willing, if you roll something to manipulate how Chrysalis works, you would drop your bird form, you would cease to be a bird, but the horse would take on a human form that could easily enter the building. If you want to do that, as you all enter the building, this is a very simplistic place. It's almost like it was just thrown together randomly out of 3 different windmills.
Madness. Surely not.
Surely not. I had a stat block and everything. Yeah.
I would like to do a composure investigation on this man while we're talking. And I would like to try and figure out if he's a changeling in Bedlam, a hob, or something else.
Absolutely. Alex, what would you like to do at this moment?
I turn to the horse and I say, my friend, have you ever not been a horse?
No, I haven't. I should like to try it one day.
Well, shall we? I have something. Something. If you trust me, there, I have a wee bit of a suggestion that could get you inside the manor, possibly get you something to eat as well.
Oh. Yes, please. 4. Yep, excellent. I'll get right back to you, Jax. Yeah. He nods slowly. Yes, please. If you have any way, I will be in your debt.
No debt, but just try to hold on to the contents of your stomach because I'm going to do something a little bit strange. I'm not going to look like this anymore. I'm sure that you'll recognize me, but things are going to just be a wee bit different for a wee moment there. And as I change my form and I start to grow from the pigeon, and my limbs start to elongate, and my beak starts to become more like a nose, and my feathers start to recede into pin feathers. And as the horse, I'm assuming he starts to take on another form.
Excellent. I'll get you to mark off another 2 glamour, and what I want you to do is roll weird plus your animal ken.
Right, that's got 1, 2 successes.
Yeah, as you say, so it shall be. The horse shifts and goes from this hobbled, old, tired little creature to a hobbled, old, tired, human-looking person who just stands up and falls over because he's not used to being on 2 legs. Clay.
I am not rolling anything. I know that Pia is an autumn courtier, and I just see that happen. And I have contracts of steed. I know how that's supposed to work. But I'm a winter courtier. So I just slowly turn and tilt my head sideways. Not saying anything. Just hoping that I can see some form of recognition of what the fuck is going on.
You've stepped into the story.
I'd like to try to help him up. Now that I'm in a bit more of a human form, I lean down and, oh, I'm so sorry. Are you feeling all right?
How do you manage?
I tend not to.
He gets up onto all fours, like sort of downward dog, and then looks up to you. Oh,
Would you like a hand?
I've got 2.
Please, the bowing is completely unnecessary.
You help him up, and Jax, with 4 successes, looking for your icon, this fob watch.
I was actually trying to tell if Quixote, because I know where my icon is. He has it on him. But I'm trying to figure out if he's a changeling in Bedlam, a hob, or a fae.
Oh! Neither.
Oh, okay.
Can I get you to roll intelligence occult?
I don't have a cult. Could I do intelligence empathy?
You could do intelligence academics. I know you have that.
I do have that.
And you get the autumn bonus of +3 for this.
What's the autumn bonus? I forget. I'm sorry.
This is rolls to investigate or understand anything from Fairy.
And it's a bonus of +1.
+3, equal to autumn mantle. As you look at this man, and something's not right about him. 5. Oh yes. Oh yes. Take informed on the Moire. This is a being of fate manifest in the hedge. This is not a hob which is spun out of dream stuff and given sentience and pattern to follow. This is not a changeling that's lost and lost and lost themselves. This is not a true fae that's been exiled from far Arcady. This is fate, the story, that is paying attention to you and to him and to the former pigeon, watching how the story shall unfold. Because I rolled a 10 on a dice, apparently.
Good Christ!
Yeah, right?
Can I roll, say, wits empathy to see that reaction?
I don't think
from
you
Pia?
need to. I don't think Pia can.
No, Pia is going to turn to you and give you that reaction.
Okay, great. And once again, I'm so glad that I'm in winter, as I keep a very stoic look as I turn to our new ex-horse friend,
Who is
who
kind of holding onto your character, Alex, and also holding onto a wall and getting used to the idea of thumbs.
please make yourself at home.
Yes, thank you, my lord. And he goes off and goes to sit in kind of the atrium area, and you hear the snap of a branch.
And I'm just doing this.
Why are human teeth so weak? Yeah, they're watching as Quixote settles in. Ah, my lord, what a marvelous... And your daughter, beautiful, beautiful as the stars.
If only her mother was here to see this love blooming.
Yes, if only my mother, but alas, she was taken from us at a very young age. It was said that my birth killed her.
Ah, a tragedy, my darling, my son.
But it's wonderful that you found the timepiece that my father gave to her as a semblance of their love and how their love would be eternal. And I'm so glad that you found it and you're going to give it back to me.
As a man who has had this exact interaction with my wife, I need you to roll manipulation socialize.
Thank you.
Not
manipulation. I can do manipulation persuasion instead.
That is just as good. Alex,
I'm helping here as best I can. I'll sort my pool out.
Thank you.
While this is happening, I'd like to sort of... Oh, actually, first of all, is the condition of our horse friend being a humanoid dependent upon my current state? Or can I...
It will be, in this case. It's like a concentration in D&D. You are holding the contract for his benefit.
Yep.
5.
And now that he's inside, I'd like to drop said contract and return to my preferred form of pigeon. See, I'm so used to being a pigeon now. I really don't like being a person much. I'd like to return to my pigeon form and sort of back away a little bit as this is happening over here with Pia, and Pia has the Don Quixote's attention. I'd like to zip off and do a bit of a loop of the inside because I'm looking for this snow globe.
Excellent. I'll get you to make a wits plus investigation or a wits plus composure roll for me.
Where's investigation? Oh, okay. We'll do wits and composure.
Yep.
So we've got 1.
Cool. I'll get right back to you. The host and his daughter. The table fills with stuff approximating food. Things like olives and sardines and anchovies. And... Tapas. It happens. You tapas into that resource.
Make a point of aggravated damage.
Never. And Quixote looks at you and goes, "Time." Yes, my lord, thank you so much. Thank you ever so much for letting me, for your permission to marry your daughter. And with that, he gets on one knee in front of you, and I roll... Yep. As there is a small... from behind you, from your, what was it? Transmask hedge ghost boyfriend. Who... It could be surprise, it could be pure unadulterated rage, we'll never know. As
we'll
he
certainly find out.
Gets on one knee and offers the timepiece to you. To you, my darling, my love. Please take this. A symbol of your parents' love continues to another generation, and may it continue on to many, many more. Do you take it?
Having a moment. Hey, do I have an idea of what will happen to me if I accept my own icon given to me as a marriage proposal by a creature of fate?
Do you have any dots in occult?
No.
Nope.
Have dots in academics? Can I roll, what about intelligence weird?
I'll let you roll intelligence weird. You will be
Okay.
at minus... I'll give you -2, just because this is questionable.
I do have a cult, but I've got no idea what the fuck's going on.
One success. You will have a husband. Well, at least you will be engaged. We'll see what happens.
I'm Autumn Court. I'm about fear. Also, I have a contract that causes me to fade from the mind's eye after this. So yes, I take the timepiece, because we're gonna do and see what happens.
Excellent. Excellent.
And as you take it, I say, marvelous, marvelous! What a happy day! And of course, the wedding requires the guests to be notified at once. And who could be more fitting than a brave, powerful, knightly husband to deliver such messages?
Yes, I hear a call to adventure.
Very well done. Excellent.
Oh.
You take it, and the icon sublimates. You've taken it. You've taken back your memory, and you feel the memories of your father returning to you. You see his cragged face, his weathered and dirt-encrusted hands. You remember the sound of his shovel as he dug similar graves to you, as he talked and eased people's grief and loss, as he worked. But you had forgotten his face, you'd forgotten his voice, you'd forgotten who he was. And it all rushes back to you. And you look at the man pretending to be your father in this place. And a few small tears wet your cheeks. Returning to our speedy boy, a little Pidgey boy, as you flit around with one success on perception, I believe, you see this fountain. There is a horse nearby who is drinking from said fountain. But where the water is coming out of, that's where you see your icon. Sitting there as water kind of pushes up and flows around it as it sits there, hovering, waiting. What do you
And
do?
it's presenting itself in the form of a snow globe.
Yeah.
And it's just like a floating snow globe.
Yeah, it's being pushed up by the water and the water's kind of spoiling over it. It's like tumbling through this.
Can I land on the rim of the fountain?
Where else would a pigeon sit?
I'd like to land, and I'd like to... don't know what I could... Oh, I guess roll... Would I roll wits and occult to look into the ball? And
You can just
can
do
I...
that. Unless
I can
there's-
just do that.
Yeah. Unless there's something really specific that you want
Occult.
with occult.
Yeah.
No, you can just look into this tumbling thing. The thing, whilst it spins, the thing that's there, that stays there, is this image of a mountain. This image of a craggy granite structure that exists somewhere far away. You know that you should know it, but you can't remember it. You can't remember its name or location, but it should be there.
So I'd like to roll occult. I have an understanding of immortality and such.
Yep.
And I don't know if I have to combine that with some sort of knowledge roll, but I'm trying to think with my bird brain as hard as I possibly can about this place and its meaning.
Um, I'm not going to have you roll. Not because it's not a valid roll, but simply because you don't have the memory. This is the embodiment of that memory. So it's not really something that you could reach back and recall in your mind. You know that you should know this, but you don't know this, if that makes sense. That awful tip of the tongue.
I'd like to peck at the ball to knock it off its water course.
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic. You peck, 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 and it just jumps and bounces. And much like in Labyrinth, it smashes on the pavement. This beautiful bauble. And that's when you start to remember. As you floated down, you start to see the mountain. This beautiful mountain in Scotland. Yeah, you remember that Scotland is a place. This beautiful mountain, craggy, filled with sheep, and the sound of your family nearby that had gone for a picnic in the area. You remember the faces of your mother, your father, your two sisters, and you remember, unfortunately, the taste of haggis. As you are sitting there, basking in this memory of a youth where you were a child, you were barely cognizant. But this warm feeling settles in your chest. And Clay.
Of course, you must be on your way. You did say you owe me that.
I did, my lord.
And you are, of course, a knight of your word. I would hate to have to retract my daughter's hand in marriage.
Of course, my lord. Simply let me fetch my horse from your herb garden, and I shall... How did my horse get into your herb garden?
By
No
invitation.
matter, my lord. By invitation, of course. I would never dream of insulting you in your house. Please, let me remove the beast, and we will be on our way.
Let us see it done.
He runs out, jumps onto his horse, who goes, Did you eat at last? Shut up. And we're off to invite people to the wedding that must take place now, my love. You can hear the scraping of tool bits on the bricks of the wall as your hedge ghost is carefully not losing their temper as Don Quixote rushes out, riding off into the sunset like the spaghetti westerns of the future.
Well then, my daughter, I guess we have a wedding to plan.
Yes, James.
As Don Quixote looks at me one last time,
Of course.
I drop into my light shy contract,
Oh,
which causes me to be invisible to the mind, affecting all senses. The recording technology will still,
yeah, excellent. He watches as you disappear. And I don't know enough.
And I'll just disappear until he's gone.
And a single manly tear from the knight errant. And off again! And he rides off.
Close the doors.
You close the doors on the story.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your new manor, I suppose.
Yes, this is unintentional, but acceptable.
Jack. I turned to my ghost. Are you alright?
Yes, of course I'm alright.
That's a lie.
No, it's not.
Well, Jack, let me tell you, as someone who's seen this kind of thing before, apparently,
Please, Daddy.
I'm so glad you call me that. Uh, a, a person can have multiple suitors seeking their hand in marriage, and we're going to get the hell out of here before he gets back, hopefully, so...
That is music to my ears.
Also, you don't have to be my lady in waiting anymore. I much prefer you with the screw fingers.
I kind of like it. The dress is flowy. And he does the
Marvelous.
hip swish as the dress kind of goes.
Now, if you might excuse me for one moment, I did spot something around here that I think was mine, and I start to poke around the manor.
Yeah, I'll get you to make an investigation roll.
That's not good.
That's fine.
I'm going to. Oh,
No successes.
Awesome. And were you going? Sorry, were you going to do anything in character checks?
yes, I would like to take some time to talk down my ghost boyfriend.
Yep. Yeah. The pigeon friend of yours is also sitting kind of dumbfounded in their little sploot position as the weight of reality has crashed upon a 4-year-old's brain.
You're right, Serge.
Clay,
Mm.
you begin poking around. And this is not really something you can fail at, it's just how long it takes. It's the last room you enter. It's a child's bedroom. You open the door, and there's a cot. In the cot is this teddy bear that is sitting, black bead eyes looking at you, mottled bits of fur have been pulled off it, and just sits there.
Slowly reaches out and grabs it.
You grab it. And it sublimates as the pocket watch, as the snow globe had before. And you remember your brother. Your younger brother. This was your bear once. You remember it being yours. But what you also remember is the nights where your brother would cry and cry and cry, and nothing would stop the tears until you came in with this teddy bear. You sat it with him, and this toddler grabbed the bear, and for all those other nights did not cry, did not weep, and just held the bear tightly. You've forgotten this love that you had for your sibling. You'd forgotten you had a sibling. And you remember where you used to live. Unfortunately, just because there is a time pressure, another stream is supposed to be picking up in the next few minutes. I'm just going to do a quick wrap up as you all, with your new memories, your new clarity, so you all gain an extra dot of clarity.
Woo!
I'll get right to you, T113 Peaches. As your clarity solidifies and you remember who you used to be before the before the torments of Arcadia, you head back through the hedge. You pass over the cobblestone bridge of the river. You pass by the little inlet where Dan Quickoat and Uncle Toby were, and you enter into the freehold of Smog, London again. the heavy pea soup air filling your lungs, and for all of you, there's just this moment where your feet hit the ground and you feel more solid than what you once were. And that, my friends, is where we will wrap up for this morning's game. Thank you guys all very much for joining. Once again, we have the Rufflejacks, who you can find at Linktree/Rufflejacks.
Yes, you can find me at most places on the internet as Rufflejacks.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest way to find me.
The Darling Clay Pigeon. And
Who may also be found everywhere at Clay Pigeon.
yes. And the lovely Alex of Pretty Pastel Please.
Pretty Pastel, please do not perceive me.
You are unseen and shall forever be. Thank you all very much